August 14th, 2017. Welcome to the Philly Podcast. And we'll get into some of the Eagles stuff a little bit later. We'll get into the Phillies debacle. But one thing that I saw over the weekend, and I want to start with today, kind of really bothered me. More and more NFL players now are deciding to sit for the anthem. Bennett for the Seahawks, and then Marshawn Lynch, who I actually was kind of excited to see come back in the league, come play, play for the Raiders. After taking a couple years off, and now he was just sitting during the national anthem, eating M&Ms or eating something. They're talking about it on ESPN right now. They're praising these guys for sitting for the anthem, and I think it's absolutely stupid. I mean, to be honest with you have a right. No, I think you have the right to play football in this lovely country. Everybody, you have the right to your own political opinion. Now, yes, they do have the right to sit for the anthem. But it is a disrespectful act for the veterans, families of veterans who have died. Seriously, I mean, this is pathetic. Now, I know there was the whole thing in Charlottesville, which is absolutely awful. I mean, that was awful. White supremacy's bad. Black supremacy's bad. Why can't people just see themselves as equal? I don't get it. Why do people have to bring race into everything? Everything. I mean, Black Lives Matter is just that is just they are awful because you have to see it as all lives matter. I hate to get political here, but you have to see it as all lives matter. You have to see it as, we're all here together. You have to see that we're all equal. I mean, it's just awful to see that, one race try and make fun of the other. Oh, I'm black, so give me rights, or I'm white, give me rights, or give me, it's just stupid. Now back to the anthem. I think, these players should. Now, if they want to have their, if they want to protest something, that's up to them. But don't do it by sitting for the anthem. Honor your country. Honor, it's just stupid. It's flat out stupid. If you don't want to play here, there's a nice league in Canada. So, I mean, this is just awful. I really don't get why they have to. All these players, think that they're being oppressed by police brutality, or that doesn't make any sense. That black people are getting brutalized by police. Here's the deal. Most of the stuff that Black Lives Matter had, like most of the incidents that Black Lives Matter were protesting, shot and killed black men were when these black men were coming after and trying to kill these police officers, and these police officers had to defend themselves. Look at what happened in Dallas. What happened in Dallas last year when those cops got killed in those riots? Now, I will say that there is bad cops. The incident in New York where the cop strangled and killed the black man, that was awful. The good and the bad side. Not all cops are great. Not all people are great. But you don't have it's just very, I find it very disrespectful to see these players sit for the anthem. I really do. So, you know, I understand that they have issues with things, but don't do it in the manner. Don't do it in that manner. Like, put a sticker on your helmet, do something. Jenkins, a very good football player for my Philadelphia Eagles, has said that if Kaepernick doesn't protest the anthem, he will. And then the fact that they want to put this guy in the league, they want this guy to be on the team, and they don't think he's on the team because of his political views. It's awful. For two or 3 years, that's it. Years, 4 years with Jim. That was, I mean, if I have a player that sits for the, I wouldn't want him on my team. I wouldn't even put him on the field. I wouldn't even dress him. I know some of these owners are taking more of a leftist approach, but it's just stupid. It's flat out stupid. It is flat out stupid. I'm not coming in as Alex Jones or anything, but on it. So yeah. We'll get into some baseball now. The Phillies yesterday had a awful. They had a debacle yesterday. They had a debacle. Zach Eflin in his last start against the Braves, I thought was, had learned a few things in the minor leagues, and might be a good, very good player, or might want to show that he belongs in the rotation for the 2018 team. But no, it's kind of went on him, and it was just an awful. I mean, other than Saturday night, it was an awful series down at Citizens Bank Park with the Mets. I mean, this is a Mets team that has been trouble, that has just had their issues, had their injury issues. I thought the Phillies were maybe take, 3 games. I was thinking maybe, they could probably sweep them, maybe take 3-1. I knew that they weren't probably going to win Thursday night because DeGrom was on the mound. Friday night, I was there. That was not good. Saturday, Nola pitched a very good game. Then yesterday, it was just awful. And the Mets are awful in afternoon games. Just look at the schedule, look at the afternoon games they've played. I mean, the only afternoon games that you see them win is against us. I mean, that's how it is. But I mean, that was just an awful, awful series that the Phillies played. The Phillies are in San Diego tonight. That's a 10 o'clock game, and then they go to San Fran. Let me see if I'm right. Hold on. I don't know if that's right. Yeah, so they go to San Diego, San Fran. So they should at least have a very productive road trip. Then they come back home. They play the Marlins, the Cubs, and the Braves. Don't think they'll beat the Cubs. They'll probably take a game or two from the Marlins, and then as well they've been playing the Braves very, very well this year. So hopefully they can beat them. But hopefully this could be a very productive road trip. Get things back in shape, back on track, because they are playing two bad teams. Well, I mean, those teams are playing in a very good division, but the Giants have not been a very good team this year. Yeah. They've always been bad. Take a bite. It's actually good. Teams back on track. That blatant. How about that Yankees this weekend? I mean, today's game. I watched a lot of last night's game. That rivalry is in fact. You look at last night's game. You look at last night's game. Like it's a low-scoring pitchers matchup. Jordan Montgomery, Chris Sale, who's been dominant for Boston this year. And both those players, really like balled out. Like they are very good. They are very good pitchers. And then the Yankees have a 2-1 lead come the top of the ninth. And then the rookie, what's his name? This rookie, Chapman, the Yankees brought in Aroldis Chapman. And, he had a lot of issues Friday night. He walked the bases. He got the bases loaded in the ninth, but the Yankees ended up pulling that game out. Then, he blows through the first hitter. 3 strikes. Then this rookie, Rafael Devers, comes up. This is a lefty. He's a lefty hitter. Going against Chapman. Chapman has not allowed a home run against them in 6 years off of a lefty. And look what happens. Rafael Devers goes the other way, a 103 mile per hour fastball, the other way, and hits it right into the bullpen in left field at Yankee. That sent the Red Sox in extra innings. They brought in Addison Reed, got a couple outs. Then they got, I think, Brett Gardner with a guy on third. Crim out the Red Sox lead with a 3-2, and that let up beat the Yankees 3-2. That is a big series win for the Red Sox. I mean, they ahead of I do believe that this is the best rivalry in baseball. It's just uh, that's the classic baseball rivalry right there. Um, and I believe it is back. I mean, I think it's now in full effect. They play again next weekend at Fenway. I think this is the best this rivalry is going to 2004 when, obviously the Red Sox came back 3-0, beating the Yankees. So, we'll see what happens. What else? And then the Yankees go to play the Mets' Subway Series, which is always a fun series to watch. I hate both those teams. I hate the Yankees and the Mets. But, as a Phillies fan, you got to go with the Yankees. I mean, you can't stand the Mets. The Mets. Mets are just... I don't think... and then now they're saying that the Mets can really have a good team next year. Listen, I think if the Mets... I think the Mets are always... They're going to be hurt. I think they're going to have at least... two of their big three pitchers, Harvey, DeGrom, and Syndergaard. Two of those three are going to be hurt next year. Again. Pretty much Mets fans are saying that, if Syndergaard... their whole team's going to be healthy next year. You don't know. If you have a team that's been injury plagued the last 2 years, there's a good chance that, and then there's a good chance that they're going to be injury plagued for another year. And plus, you don't know how they're going to respond after an injury. Now, yes, I think I have a good group of players that can respond well after injury, like DeGrom. I think he went down last year, and now he's having a good year this year. I don't think they're going to be the same players. If anything, I don't really think they're going to be the same players. But we'll see. I was just listening to a sports show. They're trying to move Conforto up in the lineup. And they're trying to make him like the 3-hole hitter and then have Cespedes be their number 4. That would be good if both of them are as good as they can be. The Mets could be a very good team. But, you don't know, especially with injuries, and especially being in an injury-plagued team, you don't know what they can be. Back to the Phillies, I forgot to mention Rhys Hoskins. I was actually very happy that Pete put him in the 4-hole last few games just to get him experience. I think that he should put him in the 4-hole this week. Rhys Hoskins, I feel like he's going to, if he starts getting the string of hits together, put together maybe a little bit of a hitting streak, getting some RBIs, he's going to, get off to a decent start. Look at Nick Williams. Nick Williams started a little slow, but then he picked it up. I know they're two different players, but, we'll see what happens. So, yeah. Where am I at? I think his overall poise and demeanor and the way that he sees the game has always been something that's pretty impressive to me. Says here that Deshaun Watson's going to be the Texans starter. He should be. I think the more exposure he gets, and if he succeeds in that exposure, he can be the starting quarterback, and he could be um, a good quarterback. Like, look at Wentz. I know Wentz is only a year in. They Wentz played all 16 games. He got exposure to the league. He knows what the game is like. I mean, he's in a good position to do big things next year. Same thing, I guess you could say, with Prescott. I know he has the luxury of the line. He knows how to play with the line. He knows how to play with the other guys. I mean, I think he's going to be a good quarterback, but I mean, he doesn't have Zeke for the first 6 games, which, I mean, think about it. I think Zeke's going to peel, and I think he will narrow the suspension down. I think the NFL, I mean, I hate to say it, but I think they're going to narrow it down to 3 or 4 games because the NFL is going to lose money. The NFL is going to lose money. I mean, I'm going to disagree with it, obviously, but the NFL is going to lose money if the big star player of the Dallas Cowboys, the star running back of the Dallas Cowboys, is out for the first 6 games. And he's a top jersey seller too. I mean, you throw that in the mix. So they're not going to have him. So I think they'll narrow that down. Because he is going to appeal. Now, then we go to the Jordan Matthews thing. And I'm still 50-50 with the Jordan Matthews trade. Here's why. I'm not like some of the Eagles fan accounts on Instagram saying that Jordan Matthews should come back trade. They should never did that. I would have been mad if they got a bad corner. They got a good corner. They got Ronald Darby. But will Darby be good with Jim Schwartz's defense? Will he? Will Jordan Matthews be good in Buffalo? I mean, I personally didn't mind Jordan Matthews. I thought he was a better target than Aguilar. I thought he was a better target than obviously the rest of the receivers. I mean, but look at the Eagles. They had a shit receiving core. And I thought they had a very good chemistry with Wentz. Yes, he did lead, was one of the tops in drops. I know that is very hard to say because it seemed like Aguilar dropped a pass every play. But he was a better target than a lot of the other guys. I wanted to see how he would work in the slide. I thought he had a very good connection with Wentz. But the Eagles needed a corner, and they need to build some of the young receivers. I really do hope they put Matt Collins in the slot because obviously Nelson Aguilar has proven to me that still continues to show me that he does not want to catch the ball. He cannot catch the ball. Now listen, I'm not mad at him because of the jet sweep. I'm mad at him. I mean, I know we only got really one pass in the preseason game on Thursday. That was a 2-point conversion. He dropped it. I'm going to have to see a little bit more at Aguilar. I'm really going to have to see more at Aguilar because right now I'm Matt Collins as my starting good slot corner or slot receiver. So he's gonna really have to prove me that he's going to be the slot. And I hate how everyone's overhyping him. The Eagles fan accounts on Instagram are the worst. They're like, "Oh, Aguilar's going to be shit this year. We got to praise him. We got to kiss his ass." Aguilar sucks. Until he shows me, he may look good on the practice field. He may look good complex or at the open practices. But you have to throw him in the game. You have to throw him in a game. I don't care. I'll even throw him in a preseason game. If he shows that he can catch the ball and make plays, then he could be my starting slot receiver. As of right now, he cannot catch a ball in the preseason. So you have to do that first. You have to catch the ball in the games that don't matter first. And you have to outplay Matt Collins, who you're going up against for the position, to get that spot. I hate how everyone's overhyping Aguilar. I hate it. This guy didn't do anything for us last year except catch a 1 touchdown pass. I'm exaggerating. 1 means against the Giants. That's, in my opinion, the only thing he did last year. He missed some huge catches. You look at, I remember the Seahawks game. Once from a beautiful goes right through his hands. I don't give a shit who you're playing. You have to prove to me that you can catch the ball. Catch the ball. Catch the football. Eagles play the Bills Thursday night. It's going to be an awkward game. On the other side of the field, on the other sideline. Darby on the Eagles sideline. Just kind of a week after they got traded. I'm trying to see who's going to start. Darby was thrown in with the starters. At practice. So, I mean, he's going to probably be in the start. So you think him and maybe Jalen Mills are going to be the two starting corners. McLeod and Jenkins are going to be the starting safeties. Linebackers, Hicks. I guess Michael Kendricks. What's his face? I'm trying to think of his name. Shit. I forgot his name. What's his name again? Sorry. Full. Here, let me look it up. I forget his name. Bradham. Or I'm sorry, it's gonna be Hicks, Bradham, and Good. Why did I say what's his face? Michael Kendricks. Corners are gonna be Darby, Mills, tackle Cox, DN Barnett, or DN Graham. Oh, it's probably gonna be Barnett and Jernigan. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the defense. I want to see a lot of that out of this defense this year. Now you have the corners. You have these. You have a very good linebacker in Jordan Hicks. You have a very good defensive line. I mean, I see this defense doing a lot of big things this year now. I think they went from, I guess, like, I think the defense really improved with this signing of Ronald Darby. I think it really, really improved. because now you can cover. Now you can. Now you're set to compete in the division. You're set to because you have Dez, you have Terrell Pryor, you have Odell Shepard, Brandon Marshall. I don't really know how effective Brandon Marshall's going to be. Here's my problem with the Giants. The Giants have a bad offensive line. Yes, they have Justin Pugh. I know Eli doesn't get hurt. I know he's awful under pressure. That's why I guess you could say that's why he doesn't get hurt because he throws the ball away. I mean, if you put an ounce of pressure on Eli, he is done. He's the play is over. He chucks it out of bounds, or he'll take the sack. But that's how the Giants are going to be successful because with Eli's play, with the line's play, you have Eric Flowers on that line who's awful. So we'll see where that goes. But I mean, I think the Giants are actually going to have a good receiving core. It's just how effective they're going to be. The Cowboys, Dak's going to be throwing the ball a lot. Dak's going to be throwing the ball a lot. I know we don't play him when Zeke is out. He's going to get that feel, and he's going to throw the ball a lot. And then, the Redskins, they're going to throw the ball. Jordan Reed, Jameson Crowder, Terrell Pryor, Cousins. All right. I was just watching that. So I think they're good. I think they're good. I haven't seen anything yet about how much the offense is going to play. Thursday night, I think that they will probably get a little bit more playing time because they are gonna they really only saw them one series. I think they're gonna probably play maybe 3 or 4 series, maybe a quarter. So I mean that's gonna be very interesting to see. Come Thursday. So we'll see how that goes. I want to see a lot more Matt Collins. I want to see a lot more Derek Barnett. I want to see Aguilar. I want to see Wentz. The line did not play well. I want to see Blunt running. I want to see Smith. I want to see what's his face, Jeffrey. I don't know what Jeffrey's deals. We'll see where that goes. But I want to see at least either one of the two, Smith or Jeffrey. I want to see Hollins. I want to see Barnett. Like I said, I want to see Barnett, Hollins, Aguilar. Blunt running the football, the line blocking. Boom, boom, boom. Defensive side, I want to see Darby. I really want to see Darby. That's pretty much it. I know I said Barnett, but I want to see Darby Thursday night. All right, back to baseball. I want to see the pitching matchups. Okay, come on. Let's go. Oh, my God. Guys, we have group chat in action. Andrews just being loud. Okay, June, you're my hero. Hello, Sean. Ronald Darby. Okay, Tom. June, you look like Chance Warmack. Okay, all right, fine. Thank God we have group chat action. Jesus Christ. Big eye coughs on him, man. Jared Eichhoff. Hopefully you get a win. Padres are 51-66. Okay, they might win. Travis Wood, he's 2-4, 6.71 RA. Eichhoff's 3-7, 4.45. So we'll see where that goes. Tom says, "Do you like Caleb Sturgis?" I like Caleb Sturgis. I mean, for me, if you're a kicker, if you're to be a decent NFL kicker, you have to kick a 50 to 55-yard field goal. You have to be able to hit a 50 to 55-yard field goal. Clearly, Sturgis can do that. He's fine. Tell you what, Dornbos cannot get hurt this year. Dornbos cannot get hurt because you saw in the Redskins game how big it can, how much of a difference it can be if you don't have a good long snapper. I'm not saying get a backup long snapper, but just keep Dornbos healthy. I do like a big. I don't mind them. If you sit for the anthem now, I don't like it. You sit for the anthem or you're Cowboy, Giant, or Redskin, I don't like it. Other than that, I don't mind it. Tom, did you watch the Yankees Red Sox last night? Very good game. Very good game. I'm actually excited for the Subway Series. I'll tell you that. I'm actually very excited for the Subway Series. The Yankees and the Red Sox, or the Yankees and the Mets. Watching a town like it's like kind of like watching two little leagues play that are in like the same township. There's, half the places representing one, half the places representing the other. I mean, I kind of find it cool. It's the same thing with the Cubs and White Sox, or I guess you could throw in the Angels Dodgers. I've always liked that. Would have been like it here in Philly at the A's State, but no, they didn't. There's another one. He's in Giants. Oakland has to once the Raiders move out, they have to tear down that freaking Coliseum, and they have to build a nice brand new baseball stadium. Once the Warriors move out, you can knock down Oracle Arena, you can build a nice new baseball stadium, and boom, play a couple more years at the Coliseum, and then open your new ballpark. Tell you what, I want to throw in this. The Chargers. I know the Chargers. I know if they the Chargers playing in that soccer stadium. It looks like a high school football team is playing, like a Texas high school football team. Because that place only holds 20,000 people, and they played their first preseason game there last night. If I were a Chargers fan, I would have wished they moved into LA about a year before, because they can, or 2 years or a year before the Rams or something, because they can grab the Coliseum. But no, it'd be very tough to play two NFL teams plus a college team in that place. It'd be very tough. She just stayed in San Diego for a couple more years. Do what the Raiders are doing. place is awful. That place is awful. So in about a few days, still eat my lunch. So in about a few days, we're gonna be having our fantasy football draft. That big week. I think I have 2 drafts in 1 week. So on the podcast, we're gonna like during that week, we're gonna go through a couple. We're gonna go through the positions, the best players at the positions. That's what I'll devote that whole week to. Because I want to do some more research, obviously, so we can talk about that. We'll preview now. If any, I know we have only a 1 viewer right now, but we will preview this year my fantasy football league, the FaZe Fantasy Football League, which is my fantasy football league. I know no one really cares unless if you're listening outside, if you're not in the league, but we'll preview the league because it's a very fun league. So yeah, like I said a while back, maybe a month ago, Andrew Congdon is the defending champ. Joey McLaughlin runs the league. You have you have a colorful group of teams or people. But we'll preview the league. I don't think I'm going to go live at the draft, but, But next week, or pretty soon, maybe even this week, we'll preview FaZe Fantasy. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. College football starts in a couple good weeks. September 2nd. That is the first good Saturday of college football. Now, they just announced yesterday that Notre Dame and Wisconsin are going to play 2 games in 2 straight years. 2020, 2021. 2020, they're going to play at Lambeau, and then 2021, they're going to play at Soldier Field, which I think is an absolutely cool trip. Notre Dame, watching Notre Dame at Lambeau, that would be sick. That will be really, really sick. I'll buy my tickets, and we'll move. And then they also play at MetLife that year. Probably hit 2 Notre Dame games that year. Supposed to go in November this year. I'm supposed to go in November, watch them play Navy out in South Bend. That's way I'm kind of christened as a Notre Dame football fan. So watching them play at home. I know I've already been at 2 games, but to see them play at their home campus and the home game, I think is going to be very cool. And then against a longtime rival Navy and a very historic rival Navy, and that is a rivalry that I'll tell you about. So I think back in one of the wars, Notre Dame had to send their kids, some of the kids in the Navy. And in one way, they kind of repaid them or something like that. Is that they have to play Navy in football every year. So it's like one of those rivalries. It's not like a rivalry like Michigan, obviously. It's not like a rivalry like Michigan or SC where you just hate them. It's a rivalry that you kind of respect. It's like kind of a respectful rivalry, which, it's fine. It's the freaking Navy. The Navy, the Army, the Air Force. I have respect for. I don't want them to lose. I don't want them to get killed every week. They're not like the Dallas Cowboys. Like I said, they're not like Michigan or SC. But it's a respectful rivalry, and it's been something that's been going back. So that's a very historic game, Notre Dame versus Navy. Temple, week 1 against Temple, September 2nd. That's another big game for Notre Dame, especially around here. Temple, new coach, rebuilding year. That's going to be a very good football game to watch. I'm starting to get nervous as the days come closer. I hope the defense makes an improvement. I hope that the quarterback, Brandon Wimbush, plays well. I think he can really fill Kaiser's shoes. I don't think he'll actually be kind of good as Deshaun Kaiser, but I think that he can and is a little bit more mobile. Equimini St. Brown is somebody who I'm really excited. And at the end of last year, I hope this guy, I really do. Same thing with the other receivers, Boykin, Stepherson. You don't have Torrey Hunter this year. You have Elijah Jones coming back. I'm just going off on Notre Dame. 2 good running backs, Dexter Williams, Josh Adams. The defense is going to be really loaded this year. They have the coordinator. Hopefully they can put it all together. I want to see Notre Dame have a very good defense, because I think they had very good defensive players, but they have to put the things together. They have to find the right formations, the right set of plays, the right style, the right scheme to play. The line is very experienced. The offensive line is very experienced. So yeah, we'll see. Another team I hate them, but I'm excited to see them play is Penn State. They're going to be very electric this year with Sorley coming back, with Barkley coming back. I'm just going off of college football. I know I did the previews, but they're going to be a team that I picked to go to the playoff. I don't think they're going to do anything in the playoff, but we'll see what happens. The Barkley is going to be a very good running back. I think he'll probably be a Heisman candidate, as much as I hate to say it. They're gonna have a big home field advantage. Obviously, Penn State has the second biggest stadium in college football, so we'll see where that goes. They're gonna be playing a very tough Big Ten East, or big whatever the division is, with Michigan and Ohio State. Obviously, they're very 2 tough teams, so we'll see where that goes. So, yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting one to watch. So, yeah. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys at some point. So tomorrow,